Oh, wow.
And you'll be making appetizers with sustainable squash, little neck clams, algae oil, and black ants.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Ants? Ted, why do you hate me so much?
I don't know. You'll see.
Is this what the future holds?
Shall we get to it? Open up basket one. Whoa. And your goal is to make innovative chocolate candies using dark chocolate-covered superworms.
I can eat chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I'm not a worm girl. I don't want to eat them, and I don't want to serve them.
Chocolate pudding mix.
Box pudding kind of throws pastry chefs for a loop because we cook everything from scratch.
Animal crackers. And candy cane beets. 30 minutes on the clock. Time starts now.
Coming down, coming down.
Alex, Scott, you are joined by esteemed executive pastry chef Zach Young.
Thanks, Ted.
Are you excited to be here for this three-course all-chocolate experience?
I mean, chocolate it's sexy. It's what everyone wants. It's what you crave.
Normally, we give you appetizer, entree, and dessert. In this, we're requiring that you make candy in round one.
Candy could be a truffle. It could be a little candy bar.
I want to see some varied textures and tastes. I want it to delight. I think candy should be a cohesive little bite.
Correct.
I'm ready for my sugar rush.
Not too bad worms. The trick of the basket is to figure out how to make all of these strange flavors go together in a candy. I immediately go to a caramel cookie crunch bar. It's something that I do often. I pulse the animal cracker with butter and brown sugar. As soon as it's a good consistency, I press it into my pan, get that in the oven. Pastry chefs don't like instant things, like instant chocolate pudding, but I'm not as picky, so I'm going to use it to coat my bar.
I do like working with chocolate because you can do so much with chocolate. I'm adding a little bit milk to the chocolate pudding and turn it to a ganache. Also decide to make a little candy bar with the ganache in the center. With the animal crackers, I've added to the ganache. I'm gonna use the beets to have a little crunchy texture. So I toss them a little bit, add lemon juice to balance the sweetness.
Behind. I'm thrilled to be in a chocolate competition, and heading into the candy round, I'm feeling pretty confident. I make 5,000 truffles a week. Chocolate pudding, just actually something fun that I grew up with. I enhance it with cinnamon and get it into the freezer to get it firmed up. I'm making a chocolate pudding bark with roasted beet and strawberry salted caramel. The animal crackers were kind of a gift. They're crunchy, they're not too sweet. They're definitely gonna help me with that texture element.
Chefs, 20 minutes left on the clock.
Making candy is really simple, but with the time frame that I have, I want to go more deconstructed because I don't think I'm going to be able to mold the chocolates the way I normally do at work. I'm going to make that deconstructed chocolate bar with the candied beet and cherry puree. My animal crackers, I'm going to make a crust out of it to add some texture. Candy cane beets literally looks like a candy cane when you slice it open. I want to candy my candy cane beets with sugar syrup and cherry puree because I want to give it more depth and flavor. And I'm going to make a gel sauce to go around my plate.
I need to incorporate beets in my candy. So I cut them up and I throw them into the caramel sauce that I'm making. And I know I want to use beets another way. Time for a little bit of wine.
Marissa busted out the red wine. What's better than red wine and chocolate?
With beets.
I start cooking down my beets into the wine. My plan is to pour that into my chocolate pudding mix to coat my bar.
Less than 15 minutes to go.
I'm using chocolate transfers for the base of my candy bar. I went to the tempering machine, add some nice dark chocolate,
There are some additions to the pantry. We have some tempered chocolate.
Process of tempering chocolate, it's raising it and lowering it to various temperature points. So when it sets, it's shiny and hard and doesn't melt in your hand.
I spray my tempered chocolate and add the chocolate ganache. I'm also adding some of the warm into the ganache, adding those candy beads, and I put another layer of the chocolate transfer on the top. And I put that into the black sugar.
Because it's an indulgence, candy should be rich, so I'm making a strawberry beet caramel. I saute some strawberries, which I think will go really nicely with the beets. I'm going to use the chocolate on the outside of the worms and have no worm in my dish. And when the streusel comes out, I add that along with some tempered milk chocolate.
She's taking the chocolate coating off of the larva.
It's part of the challenge that the basket presents. We didn't give you flour, sugar, butter, and eggs and say, hey, make something. I think there should be some responsibility to put some of that in there.
Chefs, less than 10 minutes left to go here.
I work in a high-end boutique hotel, and I would never make this instant pudding. I gotta get this pudding going right away because I have no idea how to do it.
That is instant pudding mix, by the way. You don't need to heat it. You just put it with cold milk, and you got pudding in 5 minutes.
And then I see that we have chocolate transfer sheets. I add a little tempered chocolate to it. This is gonna act as another piece of candy on my plate. I'm feeling pretty confident, but I look at my pudding and
it looks like that chocolate is seized.
And it's clumped up.
I add a little bit more cream to thin out the pudding, but I realize that it's not working. I have to change what I'm doing because this pudding's not looking right. I'm gonna start completely from scratch. I put cold milk into the mixture and add some of the juice from my candied beets and the cherry puree to give it some flavor. I think I just saved this one.
You've got 5 minutes to get this done.
5 minutes. My crust is out. My caramel's pretty hot, so I get it onto my crust, get my worms on top. A little bit of crunchy protein on there. I put that into the blast chillers. I pour that wine and beet mixture into my chocolate pudding mix. My plan is to coat my bar, but I realize that it's gonna be too soft. Coming down, coming down. So my second thought is use it as a sauce. I put that into a spoon, but the dish needs something else. What kind of herbs go well with beets? Thyme. And that's the finishing component onto my sauce.
The pudding mix is the main component of my dish. I add some feuilletine to it to give it a nice texture.
These are accomplished pastry chefs. And with this basket of unknowns, the only way to make this work is intuition. We need to go by look and feel.
Chefs, you're on your final minute here.
Let's get it on the plate, people.
Oh my God, the clock just go fast, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I can't find a pastry bag anywhere, so I decided to put the pudding inside a squeeze bottle.
This is nerve-wracking.
And chefs, final seconds of the clock ticking down now. 10, 9, 8,
Oh my God.
7, 6.
You can do this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Please step back.
Wow.
I look down at my dish and I'm feeling very confident, but I see Melanie's plate, and to me that looks more like a chocolate bar than mine does. I'm a little bit concerned that I went a little too crazy.
I look at Philip's and Marissa's dishes, and I see that they've succeeded with making a compact candy, which is what I'm known for. So I'm really freaking out.
The goal in that first round was to make genius candies using dark chocolate worms, chocolate pudding mix, animal crackers, and candy cane beets. Chef Marissa, what have you made?
So judges, today I have made for you a deconstructed beet caramel bar with a beet red wine sauce.
This feels candy bar-y to me. And I think that the use of the red wine ended up tempering sugar that could have easily gone haywire. That said, I probably would have just liked this on top. You would have made this much more successful. But as far as your flavors, sign me up.
I really like the thyme. That little kind of savory nod inside of this is a really sophisticated touch.
I have to say, you got this subtle crunch from both the beets and the worms. I mean, texturally, this was phenomenal.
How did you start cooking, chef?
When I was in high school, I was kind of that fun troublemaker kid. I set like a firework off in the forest. I got a $600 ticket, so I decided to start baking cookies to pay off my fine. I fell in love with baking.
And you stayed out of trouble.
I stayed out of trouble baking.
All right, Chef Marissa, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chef Philip.
Today I decided to make candy beets chocolate square.
The bite, the textures, the flavors. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I get a little sheet of chocolate, and I get a filling, and the experience of this, dynamite. I love it.
Thank you.
Have you always been a pastry chef?
I used to be a pastry chef with Jean-Georges and Rocco Di Spirito in New York.
Wow.
Then you must be good.
Yeah.
This filling is like a really rich, creamy ganache. And the beets, which I think could have been cooked a little bit more, they added this little crunch. But the basket ingredients did get lost, except for the beets. And I wish you had showcased maybe the worms as well.
Chef Philip, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chef Melanie, what have you made for us?
I made chocolate pudding bark with animal cracker candies and a beet and strawberry salted caramel.
If I didn't taste this, I would say this is the plate that gets chopped. It doesn't look like candy. It looks like candy that fell on the floor. The upside is it tastes amazing.
I think your flavors are fantastic. But the thing for me is that you need to eat this with a utensil. And the idea is that this is candy, so you should be able to pick it up and eat it, right?
Flavor-wise, you had the crunch of the animal crackers covered in the chocolate, the creaminess of the caramel, the succulent strawberries. Where are the worms?
Worms aren't something that I wanted to eat, so I thought that by scraping off the chocolate, I could fold that into the animal cracker crumble.
I wouldn't do the same thing even though I'd want to if I came here to win $10,000. Mm-hmm. I think you needed the worm.
Okay, Chef Melanie, thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, Chef Josep, what have you made for us?
Today, I made a deconstructed candy bar with tempered chocolate, candied beets, and cherry puree.
And what's the chocolate bit?
Pudding with beet juice.
I don't think you were successful with the pudding mix. You didn't do enough to mask the fact that it's pudding mix. But my favorite part is that cherry beet gel. It's delicious.
I love the jam too, but you know, if we just took this pudding and we put it on this little guy, and then we made a little sandwich, then this would be everything you did, but it would be candy.
You did a lot of good stuff here. You worked very hard, but it's a plate of food.
You're right.
Chef Josep, thank you.
Thank you.
Now it is up to the judges to decide who moves on. Thank you, chefs.
I can't believe they gave us worms. It's just way out of my comfort zone.
It was not that many, you know.
I think that's kind of what made it hard. You want to showcase it. I kind of wanted more worm.
The worms threw me off, and I should have ground it up or gotten it somewhere on that plate.
The first one was about candy, and I was the only one who did something very small. I don't think I'm gonna get chopped.
Chef Josep, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef Josep, we really loved your dessert, but what you presented us was not a candy. And the pudding mix was, well, a pudding mix. Starchy and dense. For those reasons, we had to chop you. We hope you'll walk out of here proud of what you did do.
Absolutely, I'm proud. This experience, this is priceless right now. If I went too far out of the box with what I did, I still stand behind my dish regardless. I'm being me. It's me or nothing.
Your first futuristic basket is in front of you. Open it up.
Oh, wow.
And you'll be making appetizers with sustainable squash,
Engineered for flavor, I believe.
Clams?
little neck clams,
I completely understand why clams would be in the future basket. They kind of produce their own clean water.
algae oil, and black ants.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Ants? Ted, why do you hate me so much?
I don't know. You'll see.
Is this what the future holds?
20 minutes to complete the task. Clock starts now.
Woo! Go!
Judges, welcome to the future. Do you want to be eating these ingredients in the year 3000?
Well, I did taste the ants, and they are really citrusy.
They've got a little bit of a crunch and the practice of eating ants. It's called entomophagy. It's popular among some 2 billion people of the world's population, yet it's virtually unheard of in the United States.
They're packed with protein, and they're really sustainable. Great fuel for the tank.
The future of food is sustainability. Use less water, use less energy, have less of a carbon footprint. I have 2 children, so I have to save the planet. My kids are gonna love that I have to cook with ants. I'm gonna use them as the garnish on little neck clam ceviche with sustainable squash puree. I dice the squash up and throw it on the stove with a little bit of lemongrass and ginger. Nice and light and bright and acidic.
When we're talking about sustainable, we're talking about planting things in the earth that are not going to strip the earth of all the nutrients. If we keep stripping the land and putting pesticides in it, we're not going to even be able to grow. So if you find these in your farmer's market or your grocery store, you should buy these instead of your normal butternut squash.
This is koji nut squash. The flavor profile is a cross between a butternut and maybe a carrot. I'm gonna use it to make a sustainable squash and clam broth with a pancetta, mozzarella, and fried ant salad.
Chef Dan, how you feeling?
I'm on a gravy train with biscuit wheels.
That's actually a saying that's going to be very popular in the future.
If all these basket ingredients are the food of the future, I'm here for it. I'm making the future of surf and turf. The squash cut into like a strip of steak. And my plan for the little nut clams is to add heirloom tomatoes and arugula and black ants. The black ants add a really nice citrusy flavor. I'm actually really into them.
I'm happy to see ants because in Colombia we are used to eating ants. I am making squash and black ant pan ricotta. Pan ricotta is a breadcrumb mixture to create a crunchy texture for a clam risotto. With the algae oil.
Rodrigo, you making us a little risotto in the future?
Well, the only thing that I see in my future is $10,000.
Oh, okay.
Hey!
Risotto in 20 minutes?
That's insanity in this first round.
I would never do risotto in 20 minutes. I would also never do risotto for Scott Conant. He's the Italian aficionado.
Chef Rodrigo, that risotto gonna be done in time, Chef?
Yeah, I think so. When you focus on something, you can make it happen.
Rodrigo right now, he's just taken all that clam juice and dumped it into the risotto, which is great. You're bringing that beautiful flavor of the clam liquor, seasoning the risotto.
10 minutes to go, chefs.
You guys, Joe is actually shucking his clams.
The moment that I see Joe shucking his clams, oh my God, that's gonna take forever.
Where I come from in Kennebunkport, our clams are a little bit larger, meatier. These little necks are like the smallest I've ever seen. I'm trying to shuck them as fast as I can for my ceviche. It's totally stressing me out.
What is the minimum number of little neck clams that you need to
Like an appetizer?
make an appetizer?
At least 4,
Yeah.
I'm only able to do a half dozen or so. I'm adding a little bit of lime juice. It's a nice, clean, light way to start off a meal.
I'm gonna take the roasted squash out of the oven, add it to my clam broth with coconut milk. When I was a cook at 11 Madison Park, the maitre d', Stephanie, became my wife. We had Elliot, who is now 6, and about 2 years later, twins, Camille and Leon. The future feels very precious right now for us.
It's always smart to think about the future, especially for me, because I suffered with substance abuse for years. I lost my passion for food, lost my love for life, but recovery is possible. Behind you, there is hope and success after addiction.
Oh, sorry.
When I think of algae oil, I think of, algae at the beach. I didn't even know they could make oil out of that. I do enjoy the taste of it, though.
It's interesting. I think some people might think algae oil, oh, it's going to have a great umami of the ocean and brininess, right? No, it's just a very neutral oil.
Chef Taylor just took her squash out of the oven, and now she's shallow frying it.
In algae oil? I think that's a good idea because you use it like canola oil.
I'm gonna work on my squash, hard-seared with a little bit of the algae oil. And I'm gonna add panko breadcrumbs, let it get toasted, then my black ant, and give it some crunchiness.
4 minutes to the end here, chefs.
I'm pureeing the squash, and I realized that I didn't make enough. It's nerve-wracking.
There is going to be a thimble of sustainable squash.
A thimble full.
It's just not enough food.
Squirt bottle.
I really didn't make enough squash puree, so I put little small dots on the plate as a garnish. And I'm definitely worried about how many clams I have, but time's running out. So I'm just kind of focusing on presentation. And I'm gonna use the ants as a garnish.
It looks to me like Chef Dan has yet to touch both the ants and the algae oil. There's 3 minutes left on the clock.
I dump the ants into algae oil, let that just kind of bubble and crisp up, and add it to a pancetta mozzarella salad. And I love finishing soups with a drizzle of olive oil, so I think the algae oil will be nice.
1 minute to go, chefs. I've seen Rodrigo tasting his risotto. Do you think it's done?
It's definitely not on the plate, I know that.
I check my risotto. It's al dente. I'm just trying to leave it until the last minute to plate.
30 seconds, chefs. Let's go, chefs. Get it on the plate, please.
Go, you gotta move faster. You gotta move faster.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
That's it. You gotta get
5,
it on.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Please step back.
Bold move, Rodrigo, making risotto. I wish you luck.
Dan's dish looks great. I wish I had thought of that.
I definitely think Dan is my biggest competition.
I might be one of the front runners here.
Chefs, you have arrived at the chopping block. That first round saw you cooking with black ants, sustainable squash, little neck clams, and algae oil. Chef Joe, please tell us what you've made.
I've made a little neck clam ceviche, a little bit of sustainable squash puree, some ants, and algae oil.
I mean, for an appetizer, this was very small. I mean, this is a real amuse-bouche. But I love the flavor of a raw clam, and I think that the little bit of heat you put on there and you got the acidity level, I think it's great.
Chef, it's a beautiful, clean presentation. I like the flavor of the squash. I want to touch more for balance because it does add sweetness, which I think you need with all the salinity of everything else here.
But there are too many ants, definitely on my plate. It shows that you were rushed at the end.
What did you do to the ants?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
So I think you could have done something. I mean, they're like whole ants on the plate.
Do you have any use for $10,000?
I do, yes. $10,000 would go a long way, to be able to take my family on a vacation, something I've been promising my wife for years. And I'm a little afraid of going home without at least doing pretty well. I don't know if I can handle the ridicule from my 9 and 13-year-old.
Oh, boy.
Chef Joe, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Next up, Chef Taylor, please tell us about your starter.
Today I have for you the future of surf and turf. And then the squash, I cut it kind of like in the shape of a slice of steak.
That's very clever to work in that future surf and turf.
Thank you, thank you.
What brings you here?
Well, I struggled with addiction in my past, and so this is kind of me proving to myself, and trying to prove to anybody else that's struggling with addiction that you can overcome it and stay on the right track and the positive track, so.
Good for you that you're on the right path, Chef.
We know how hard that is, so we respect your journey.
I like the addition of the tomatoes that you have. I think the arugula is a nice touch also. But unfortunately, the squash just is not cooked.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's deceiving. You can't tell from just looking at it that it's totally raw.
Should have boiled the squash first and then seared it.
Yeah. But I like what you did with the clams with the tomato and the herbs. I think that's such a great flavor profile together. I love the flavor of the clam, but I want the broth. I want something to soak it up with.
Yeah, this needed a big piece of crusty bread. Yeah. But you were going in the right direction. Your concept, your surf and turf concept.
Chef Taylor, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chef Rodrigo.
My dish is risotto with cooked lambs and a squash and black ants toasted with Japanese panko crumbs.
The dish concept is a great way to present these foods that maybe people are not familiar with. I love the idea of the ants and the breadcrumb. If that's part of the future food, then that's great.
Yeah, first of all, I applaud your ambition to try to make a risotto in a 20-minute round. But unfortunately, this risotto is so undercooked, the rice is raw.
But I like the direction you were going, and I saw you taking all that liquid from cooking the clams and putting it in the risotto, which was great. It's disappointing.
Yeah, I apologize.
Chef Rodrigo, thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, Chef Dan.
Today I've prepared for you a sustainable squash and clam broth. And to the side you have a salad of clams, pancetta, mozzarella, and fried ants.
What do you think about the idea of eating bugs?
I think it's great. I don't see why ants couldn't become popular in the near or distant future.
I mean, I love the ants. I think they're really good. You've got a nice little pop there. But for me, this algae oil is not really a finishing oil. And it's really coating the tongue with a little bit of fat, and it's not the pleasant fat that we all love.
But incorporating the clam and the clam broth and the seafood broth inside there really creates a great base for that soup.
Yeah, and I was surprised how much I like the mozzarella. I know some people don't like seafood and cheese, but it's such a good flavor, a good appetizer, a good presentation.
Thank you, Chef Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Now the judges must decide who will be back at the stoves for the entree round.
Based on what I saw, I think Joe should be chopped. It didn't seem like an appetizer at all.
I don't think that I'm gonna get chopped. Rodrigo might be in trouble because his risotto just wasn't quite cooked enough.
Whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Rodrigo, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef Rodrigo, we really appreciate your ambition trying to do a risotto in a 20-minute round. But it was so undercooked, it rendered the entire dish unedible. And so we had to chop you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Chef.
The harder part of this competition is those 20 minutes. The clock, it's just ticking down, and unfortunately, I took a big risk and I failed.
The final donut baskets are ready. Open them up.
Oh my God.
And we want you to make a filled donut with a donut cheesecake.
This is crazy.
Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers? Not afraid of a little bug.
Plums. And toe jam jelly.
Wow.
What horrific ingredient is in this jar?
Once again, you'll have 30 minutes. Clock starts now.
All right.
Ted, I can think of no worse name than toe jam jelly.
Neither can I.
But it is tangerine, orange, and elderberry.
It's actually delicious. And I think with the creamy cream cheese cake that they have, that could be a great combination.
Toe jam jelly, it's actually pretty lovely. It's sweet, it's tart, and I think mixing it with the cheesecake and my plums is gonna create a rich yet really bright filling. I'm gonna make a plum and toe jam cheesecake-filled donut covered with a grasshopper cinnamon sugar. I am toe-to-toe with my former employee, and she's been such a fierce competitor, so I gotta push so hard.
Going against my mentor is definitely intimidating, but I'm really excited to, take her down. This toe jam jelly is very sweet, and the cheesecake's really one note and kind of bland. So I'm gonna combine them to create a filling for this donut. I'm making a toe jam cheesecake filled donut, topped with a charred plum sauce. So I get the plums going in a dry pan. I hit them with some orange liqueur to flambe them.
Whoa! I felt the heat from that.
Whoa!
20 feet away.
Fire.
Chefs, 20 minutes to get this done.
I think grasshoppers are an amazing ingredient. You can get some salt, get some sugar, and blend it together.
Well, good. You can have ours.
These guys are weird.
Grasshoppers are tough, but one of my favorite donuts is classic cinnamon sugar. And I think I can incorporate the grasshoppers into my cinnamon sugar. So I deep fry the grasshoppers, bring out that natural nuttiness, grind them up into a powder, mix them with cinnamon, sugar, and now for my filling, my plums are cooked down in the jelly. So I just want to puree that real quickly in the blender and get that into my cheesecake filling.
Chefs, 15 minutes to go.
The grasshoppers taste nutty. They've got a really great texture to them, so I decided to use them in my coating sugar for my donut. I serve them in the food processor with sugar, a little bit of orange zest. Winning $50,000 would go such a long way towards paying off all of my debt. It's a life-changing amount of money. I want to go on into the Sweet Showdown finale, and I want to win that $50K.
So this is a completely unique situation. Taryn was trained by Caroline, and yet both of them want to win.
Whoever wins will be going up against fierce pastry chefs. So they do have their work cut out for them.
I am hustling so hard, fine, and Taryn is too, but I've got my eye on that finale, I've got my eye on that 50 grand, and this is my chance to get there. To make a beautiful glaze, I take some of the plum toe jam puree and I mix it with a little bit of powdered sugar.
Okay, chefs, you've got less than 5 minutes here.
Now I need to start filling my donuts with as much of this cheesecake filling as they can possibly handle. But I'm struggling. Oh. They're bursting, they're coming out the side.
Guys, it looks like Taryn is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Stay, stay, stay. This is terrible. This is the filled donut round. I can't give them a donut that doesn't have any filling.
Come on, ladies. Who wants to make it to the finale?
1 minute to go.
We're crushing this, Caroline. Whoop, whoop.
I love cinnamon sugar donuts, but I also love a glazed donut. So I covered half of my donuts with the grasshopper cinnamon sugar, and I covered the other half with this toe jam glaze.
Let's go, chefs, get it
All
done.
right, chefs, final seconds of the final round. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
This is amazing. I'm so sticky, I'm sorry.
My donuts look gorgeous. I know they're fried really well. They're decorated so beautifully. I think I've got this.
I'm feeling really good. I think it looks really sexy. And then I look at Caroline's donuts. That looks beautiful. And they're beautiful. And I just need to hope for the best.
Taryn, Chef Caroline, the final basket in this dreamy donut competition brought you a donut cheesecake, grasshoppers, plums, and toe jam jelly. Chef Taryn.
What I've made for you guys today is a toe jam cheesecake filled donut that's been rolled in grasshopper sugar and topped with a charred plum sauce.
In the charred plum, what acidity did you add?
I added orange liqueur.
What I really love is the tartness, and the orange has those bitter notes that works very, very well together. I would have liked a little bit more of the filling, but yeah, other than that, this is really well done.
Thank you.
The plums are phenomenal. Professor Plum would be very happy. And then this creaminess of the cheesecake in the center of the donut was awesome. And then the grasshopper sugar, I think, was super smart. Was there a bit of salt in there?
Yeah.
Donuts can be sweet on sweet on sweet. You really need to break up the party. So you have acid, you have salt, and then you have tart creaminess in the center. I mean, this is a completely well-rounded meal in and of itself.
I feel like this, more than any other course, really showcases your talent. So, well done.
Thank you, Chef.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Chef Taryn. Final dish of the day, Chef Caroline.
I made for you a plum and toe jam cheesecake filled donut covered with grasshopper cinnamon sugar and a plum and toe jam glaze.
Your presentation is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you,
I
Chef.
love the fact that you gave us half glazed and the other half grasshopper sugar.
Yeah, that plum toe jam glaze, delicious, tart, and I got a lot of grasshopper. I think you frying them brought out some extra flavor, but I think your filling was a little bit loose.
Yes, the filling is a little bit loose, but also it's really sweet.
Very sweet.
But both of you have given us great final courses here.
All right, the judges have a lot to talk about. Thank you, chefs.
You've proven today that you definitely have what it takes.
I want to win and I want to go on, and then I want to get $50,000 and then take you out to eat. But I know that if you went ahead, you would totally crush the rest of the competition.
And either way, one of us has got this.
Judges, we asked for amazing donuts. Did the chefs deliver?
Both of these chefs rose like batter in hot oil.
In the first course, Caroline gave us a glazed donut, and then she took the onions and charred it. And I think it was absolutely beautiful. The only problem was that it was a very oily bite.
Taryn's first dish, you know, she used the tartness of the rhubarb to cut the sweetness of the sugar. She is a master at balancing flavors. My only problem was the chocolate ghee went missing. Caroline's second dish, on one side, you had the beautiful lobster salad on the puff pastry donut, and on the other side, you had something that was left over from a pub at the end of the night, that tub of fat. Well, Taryn's second course, that lobster salad was so delicious, but those pieces of shallot, they were too big.
The final round, Caroline did present us with this beautiful donut, half of it with the plum glaze and the other side with grasshopper with sugar and cinnamon. Delicious.
Yeah, I agree, but the filling I found too sweet.
Taryn has such an incredible handle on making sauces with acidity. The white wine vinegar along with the plum was beautiful. There just wasn't enough filling.
Well, one of these chefs is on their way to our $50,000 grand finale.
We know who.
Taryn really brought it in this competition, but my plates were beautiful, they were creative, and I know I nailed it.
I deserve to win because I came with a fire and crushed every round. And who doesn't want to beat your teacher?
So, whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Caroline, you've been chopped. Judges?
Caroline, in the first course, you gave us that donut that frankly was just oversaturated with fat. In your second course, the bone marrow butter sauce wasn't emulsified, it had no flavor. And then in your final course, the filling was too loose, too sweet, and for all those reasons, we had to chop you.
Thank you, Chef. I would have loved to win, but knowing that somebody who I taught so much to one. It like doesn't get much better than that.